think about it, YouTube is basically just a really big game we're all playing, right? It's just one way to look at it, and I think it's the reason a lot of creators feel so frustrated because they're not looking at YouTube in this way. That's not to say you shouldn't take it seriously, but if it were a game, what would the rules be? We talk about rules all the time, and we'll talk about them here, but I think what you're really interested in are the cheat codes. And no, I'm not going to go into any dirty or unethical methods for growing, but we are going to talk about maybe some strategy tweaks, some techniques, some smart practices, things that you can tangibly use right now that'll hopefully get you to skip some steps as you play the game of YouTube. But to cheat in a game, it does help to know the rules. So let's imagine YouTube this way. Your channel is a product of this massive marketplace. And the YouTube algorithm is the big bad boss that kind of controls everything. Defeating that algorithm gives you the potential to reach more people because now you're getting some prime real estate instead of being tucked away in a small corner of YouTube somewhere. The algorithm can be thought of the big boss in this scenario because it has one mission, and that's world domination. It wants YouTube to be the only place people hang out on the entirety of the internet, so it's going to push content out that ensures that nobody ever leaves. I guess that means by defeating the algorithm, you actually help it achieve its ultimate goal, thus you're the bad guy? Maybe you're the anti-hero in this case. Your ultimate mission is to get the people who are on this platform to not leave, not just YouTube, but your specific channel. In regular YouTube lingo, you want to increase your click-through rate and your watch time. And that's not just about making longer videos. That's about making captivating and engaging content. How the algorithm decides who's going to get what share of the viewers is where the cheat codes come in. There's a lot of different tips and strategies we can share, sure, but in my opinion, these are the ones that are going to help you save the most time if applied correctly. So welcome to level 1. You are starting a new game with a blank canvas. And when you press new game on your controller, the first thing you need to do is to create your avatar. And in the case of YouTube, that avatar is actually more about the people who are going to be watching your content. What do you want to make content about? But also, who is it that your content is for? What do you want to say on YouTube? And why should people listen? And who are the types of people who would listen? By answering these questions and getting your avatar filled out, you've begun the process of finding your niche. But there's a little cheat code that not everybody grasps here related to niches. When you're a new creator diving into a small niche, your videos can massively outperform the people who are new creators diving into a much larger niche. Picture this. You have two different YouTubers, but they upload the same exact video basically, title, thumbnails virtually the same, to the same market at the same time. Their video is about a new popular video game, but there's only 100 viewers to share between them. In the best case scenario, if you're on equal footing with that creator, you're each getting 50 views, right? But if one of those creators has actually been doing this for a while, they're probably going to get the lion's share of that 100 people. In our interview with Spiffing Brit, he actually compared it to a big pond versus a small pond. If you're at the small pond and you're like the only one there, you're going to catch all the fish. That means even if your videos aren't really up to speed yet, they're not that great, you're still getting a decent amount of views because you found a space that is being underserved. Once you learn the ropes, you can start to move on though to larger and larger ponds. Just by figuring out your niche, you've earned some XP. So why don't we move on to level 2? As we level up in the challenge, you are now about to create your first video. But there's a critical step you should take way before you even hit the record button. That's where the second cheat code comes in. Let's take a look at this video you're watching right now, for example. For it to be structured the way it is, we actually had the end of the video in mind before we ever recorded or wrote anything. We first had the idea of comparing YouTube to basically a video game. Right away, as we did that, the light bulbs came on for the different titles and thumbnails we could experiment with this particular video. This was all before we started writing too. This approach not only helped us solidify the concept of this video, but it really helped build the entire structure of the whole thing. Why did we think of the thumbnail though before we even wrote anything? Well, it's because the thumbnail is the first point of contact that someone really has with your content. You want your thumbnail to stand out, right? Well, all you need to do is literally that. For a specific video you're trying to create, look up the thumbnails for people who've done something similar. What patterns are you seeing across all of those videos? Because now I want you to imagine your thumbnail breaks up this pattern quite a bit. Is it the norm in this space to have all the videos basically have a lot of red in the thumbnails? What if your video featured a lot of blue? If everyone's using really high saturated colors in their thumbnails, what if you used a more muted palette? And this isn't just about being different for differentiation's sake, right? Your thumbnail should still be true to the content. It still needs to appeal to your target audience, and then it needs to naturally lead them to the next point of contact, which is the title. Your title should be part of the hook, and transforming a title into a hook can be really challenging. We're finding that it's not uncommon actually to have creators with 10, 20, or 50 title ideas for one video. They'll have their 50 titles and they'll be pretty similar to each other, and then eventually they narrow it back down to like their top 3. This is part of the cheat code, right? They're trying to have a title that not only piques interest, but it speaks directly to the desires of their specific audience. It doesn't quite take us 50 ideas for each title we have on this channel, but let's take a look at some of the titles we actually use. With our playbook, you'll notice that we use the phrase small channels a lot. Those aren't just random words we happen to keep using. That is a lot of strategy going into each title because we want each one to feel like it is content that is for a very specific group of people. This makes each video about small channels feel like an exclusive invitation to anyone who feels like they have a small YouTube channel. Once people click, we like to follow that with something that teases a bit of what's going to happen in the content, maybe the comedy behind it or the lessons that you're going to learn, of course, without giving it all away. By doing that, we open a loop. But we're going to get to more on loops in a little while. That's the packaging of your video, and now that you're done with that, it's time to move on to the hook. So congrats, you leveled up again. Welcome to the core of our adventure, level 3. In this vast realm of YouTube, the greatest strength you have with your content is how unique it is. And each piece of content you make is a chapter in a larger narrative. This is actually the part where a lot of YouTubers just kind of rage quit, right? The game is rigged against them, the game being the algorithm, and it's better if they just spend their time doing something else. But in order to beat this game, the algorithm, it's important you give it enough clues so it knows who your videos are for. Or another way to think about it is that the algorithm isn't actually for you. No, the algorithm is actually for the people watching YouTube, and its goal is to serve them videos that keep them from going away. You're trying to trick the algorithm into putting your videos on the menu. Boy, this is getting convoluted because now there's a food analogy involved, but pretend it's a restaurant game for a minute. Someone just ordered steak, the algorithm is not going to serve them fish, okay? Your video's the fish in this case. You need to find people who are looking for fish. So you forge ahead, crafting or cooking up videos that are going to get you more XP along the way. Tailoring your content to the interest of an audience, 10 XP. Nailed your 5-second and 30-second hook, 20 XP. Wrapping up your video with a call to action that pushes people to another video of yours, that's 50 XP. And all of those things are pretty good, but there's a cheat code that'll help you get that XP a bit faster. If you start to use this technique, you can seriously impact your overall retention and watch time. It is the most powerful tool at a storyteller's disposal, and that is the loop. When you open a loop in a video, people's brains tend to go, wow, I could really use some closure right now. This prompts them to stick with that experience, or in this case, your video, until that loop finally closes. They don't just want to continue, they kind of need to. That is the power of an open loop. And since YouTube loves when people stay on the platform for even longer, and you've just mastered loops, here's 60 more XP. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there, because now you have to get to level 4. Now that you've made like 10 or 20 videos, our final cheat code is a bit of a bonus cheat code. I'd say it's something a lot of people tend to either overlook or do completely wrong. YouTube's algorithm favors channels that post new content regularly. But where a lot of people go wrong is they assume this means you just have to post videos all the time, no matter what, regardless of how good they are. It's about finding a balance that allows you to deliver quality content consistently. This builds trust and loyalty and community, and it's how people keep coming back. It's how growth happens on a channel. But it's not that easy to create high quality content all the time. So make sure your consistency matches what you're able to output. Basically, don't promise daily videos if you really can't make nice high quality daily videos and it actually takes you a week to deliver that kind of delicious meal. One thing that can help you with the quality is the interaction that you want your video to get. Asking random questions to try and get some people to comment is one thing, but what type of things would you like them to say about your video after they get finished watching? Questions like that will help you begin to start thinking about your content in a different light, and thus hopefully improve your overall quality. But what you don't need to be doing is taking a whole bunch of random shots at the target hoping that something goes viral. Because one viral video isn't going to just build you a loyal community overnight. It'll probably cast a wide net and bring some new people into the fold, but you really need to be engaging them in a more meaningful way if you want them to actually continue watching your videos long term. If you can maintain this level of rhythm and consistency, you can build a stronger bond with your audience and thus level up in the game of YouTube. And just like any game, YouTube has its dynamics and complicated mechanical systems and algorithm shifts. Is it going to be challenging? Yes. Is it going to be competitive? Absolutely. But these cheat codes should absolutely put you a step ahead, and these myths will keep you from repeating the mistakes that so many other channels have made along the way.